Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. FPL Consult here, and today we're gonna have a look at my final Game Week 17 team, or at least what I hope I will go into Game Week 17 looking like. So if you guys do enjoy this video, please give it a like and also subscribe as well if you are new around here. Now later on you guys will see that there hasn't been too many changes from my first team selection video, but trust me, there has been plenty of tinkering, and along the course of this video I will mention why I've chosen to go with some players over other popular ones. So firstly, it's not an expensive team at all, right? There's a lot of money in the bank to cater for some flexibility, which I think will be key moving forward with all double game weeks. Plus, I don't think I'm compromising too much at all with this team. So we're gonna start and go with Kepa, and realistically there were only two keepers I was considering. So Kepa or Sanchez. Yes, Sanchez, because after Brighton exited the EFL Cup, it is likely that they'll get a double game week in game week 21, possibility of a triple game week even. So I thought about preparing early for that and going with Sanchez, but then the opening fixtures kind of put me off slightly, and on top of that, Kepa has since returned to first team training. He's looking fit to start. A lot of the Chelsea forums are also saying that he's first choice ahead of Mendy if available as well. So with two great fixtures coupled with a double game week in game week 19, it's hard to look past him at 4.5 mil, so he stays in goal for now. Right, and the back three has largely stayed the same throughout all my drafts, so I did consider taking Cancelo out for Walker, but then it came down again to how I'd rather just have a set and forget nailed City defender, plus his price point also allows me to switch easily to Trent or Robertson if they kind of start to pick up as well. As for the fourth and fifth defenders, I've kind of replaced Darlow with Ben White, who's on the bench right now, for a couple of reasons. Now, firstly, United will be without Varane and Lisandro Martinez, and maybe even Harry Maguire, who's currently nursing a bit of an illness as well. So it will be a very weakened United defense line. And secondly, I don't see a situation where I actually will play my fourth defender in the first 3 to 4 game weeks. In which case, I think from game week 21 onwards, I actually favor Arsenal's fixtures compared to United's fixtures. And honestly, Arsenal are a more defensively solid team, as we can all agree on that. So going for Ben White also prepares me for the potential double game week that Arsenal could have in game week 21, and the confirmed double that they will have in game week 23 as well. So I'm pretty locked on Ben White for now. And as for my fifth defender, I have Bueno, who is an okay pick in his own right. It seems like it is his place now to lose ahead of Aït-Nouri and Johnny. He's going to be my bench fodder option, 3.9 mil, but realistically I don't see a case where I'll play him. I did consider going for Patterson instead, who's 0.1 mil more expensive, but he was in a couple of my drafts, and I've settled on just banking the extra 0.1 instead to spend elsewhere, because as I mentioned, there will be a couple of double game week announcements moving forward, and I want that extra money to have greater flexibility. So for now, I've gone for Bueno as the fifth defender. So on to the midfield now, and this was actually where most of the tinkering was done. I did have some drafts with other players, and I will touch on them as we go along. So Salah's in my team now, and why KDB over Salah? Now I actually think that there's a good chance that Kevin De Bruyne actually misses out in one of City's first two games. So that's either the Leeds one or the Everton one, and that's because of the tight turnaround, right? 2 days and 19 hours to be exact. So because of that, I'd actually rather go for Salah first because of guaranteed minutes. But I'd also like to lay out some surrounding factors that we should consider, or at least I took a look at them before deciding whether to go for Salah or Kevin De Bruyne. So in general, focusing on Salah first, he's generally closer to the goal, right? He's more of a finisher and more of the one that kind of gets on the end of things and puts the ball into the back of the net. For Kevin De Bruyne, on the other hand, he's more of the playmaker, and assists actually make up the bulk of his returns. So from an FPL perspective, you'd actually say that in this sense, Salah may be the better pick. But the case for Kevin De Bruyne is also pretty convincing, and it's mainly because of the person on the end of his crosses, and that is Erling Haaland. So arguably he is the best finisher in the Premier League at this point, and Kevin De Bruyne creates so many chances for a world-class finisher in Haaland, and that kind of makes it possible actually for Kevin De Bruyne to actually outscore Salah just based on assists, like getting assists for Haaland and possibly getting bonus points coupled with that as well. So On top of this as well, right, going for Kevin De Bruyne early, locking in your third City attacker actually helps you to save one transfer further down the line, where you'll actually want to triple up on City, given that they have a possible double in Game Week 20 and then a confirmed double in Game Week 23. So strong cases for both sides. It probably come down to the wire for me as well, but I'm still on Salah for now, mainly because of the minutes concern that I mentioned at the start before talking about all these factors. Right, I'll probably look to switch Salah to Kevin De Bruyne later on. So as for the rest of the picks, I've gone for Martinelli as my Arsenal attacker instead of Saka, and I did say that the 8 mil bracket will be important, and for that reason I initially went for Saka, but I've realized that with my squad structure I probably can only go for one 8 mil midfielder. And if I go for Saka, I can't switch to Maddison or Kulusevski or Foden without losing an Arsenal attacker. So to kind of curb this, I've chosen Martinelli. I've left an extra 1.7 mil in the bank so that any of these other budget midfielders that you see here, namely Rashford and Almiron, either of them could be upgraded to a 8 mil mid. Right, should any of those 8 mil mids that I want to go for pop off, and this kind of gives me good flexibility as well. So moving on to Rashford and Almiron, they haven't left my team actually in any of the drafts. I still rank Rashford ahead of Bruno Fernandes for the Man United midfield spot, and I did have Bruno Fernandes in some of my drafts, but the problem with Bruno Fernandes is his price point. 9.8 mil just doesn't allow me to go for the other players that I want, and I either had to compromise on Cancelo or Darwin. And he also takes up another midfield spot, so not ideal as well, given all the great budget options in that whole midfield range. So I've actually stuck with Rashford, who does have better numbers than Bruno Fernandes. Now, as for Almiron, I just think he enables the team so well, right? At that price point, it's hard to ignore, just 5.8 mil, and his attacking output has been really, really consistent so far this season. So for all that he offers, as well as what he enables the team to do, I can't really take him out of my team. And lastly, on the bench, Andreas Pereira, who has a double game week in Game Week 19. So at 4.6 mil, that's pretty much a steal. Guaranteed to start both games as well. So he's definitely a lock in my team. Up front, I've gone without Mitrovic this time, and it's Martial now, and the other two have remained the same, so Haaland and Darwin Núñez. So on to Martial first, and he's actually functioning as a placeholder for Mitrovic, who is on 4 yellows and also a slight doubt for Game Week 17. So Martial actually in his own right is an excellent pick, considering that United have great fixtures. He's pretty much got the number 9 spot nailed down, and his output this season has been good when he's played. The only worry then is his fitness, and he's been in and out this season with injuries here and there. So the hope is actually that he'll be able to hold out for at least the first 3 game weeks, get through United's good fixtures, and then I'll possibly look to move him out. Now, as for Haaland, there's really nothing much to say other than he's essential and we have to have him. So for Darwin Núñez, I know a lot of people are actually put off by his performance against City because it's kind of been a consistent theme throughout this season for him, right? He accumulates so much XG and doesn't convert. But for me, the way I see it is that I like it that he's getting the chances. There's no competition for him at all. Diaz and Jota are out. Liverpool are third for attacking numbers this season, and he will convert in time to come. Now, he can't miss all of his chances. So coupled with the fact that I may be moving Salah to Kevin De Bruyne in the near future, I will want some Liverpool coverage at least. So Darwin Núñez does actually help me to cover Liverpool in the event that I take Salah out and I bring Kevin De Bruyne in. So I actually don't see myself removing him at all for this reason, and that's pretty much why I will still go for Darwin Núñez, even though what we saw against Man City may not have been the most convincing performance from him. Right, so there we have it, guys. This is the team. 99% locked on this team. Hopefully nothing changes, but if it does, we do have a deadline stream on Boxing Day. An early one. I won't be streaming right before the deadline. I don't want to clash with all the other FPL YouTubers who will be streaming at that time. So hopefully I'll see you guys at the deadline stream probably 3 to 4 hours before the deadline. Right, and I'll catch you guys there. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Do give it a like. Subscribe as well if you are new around here. And I'll see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.